So it's been about 5 years since we got the original Xbox One, and we now have the world's most powerful console, the Xbox One X. Let's unbox it and size it up with some other consoles and see what it's all about. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Paul from Respect the Tech, and man, am I excited. I've been waiting for this bad boy to drop ever since it was announced, and the day is finally here. The Xbox One X is finally real, it's finally out, and it's finally here in my hands, and I am pumped. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm actually wearing my Best Buy launch day t-shirt from the original Xbox One, which I had waited for about 12 hours outside of my local Best Buy for. And I actually ended up, I think that year they actually gave us, I believe, like a free bag and this shirt. So that's pretty cool. This go around, they actually gave out the option of either some socks, a lanyard, or a travel bag. And I opted for the lanyard this time. It's pretty cool. It has Xbox One X right here. And then it also says Feel the Power right here. You know, something light, something cool. I'm actually a fan of it. So all in all, my experience this year was great. I actually pre-ordered this time. I actually did it the day they were announced. I didn't want to take any chances. I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to get this over with, and I'm glad it finally is. Anyways, so before we actually get into the box, I want to actually go over what's actually on the box itself. On the front here, we have the logo. We have the Project Scorpio edition. Writing right here. On the side we have the Xbox One X, and on this side we just actually have pretty much the overview of what the console can do and what's inside the box itself. And on the back we just have the logo itself with no Project Scorpio edition writing. But all in all, I'm really excited to actually see what's inside of here and go over some of the specs of this bad boy. And I'm also going to be doing a size comparison with some other heavyweights as far as console gaming goes. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead now and jump right into this. Got the Batman knife handy as always. We got two slits of tape up here. Alright. Oh, that came out pretty easy. Alright. So, first things first, we got some pamphlets here. I'm not sure how good you guys can actually see that because I can't see myself, but anyways. So here we have a card for Xbox Live Gold. I believe this is actually a 2-week trial if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't actually say. I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, oh no, it is. It's a 14-day trial of Xbox Live. I already have that. And then I also got a 1-month trial of Xbox Game Pass. And then it also has, you know, some branding here for the Design Lab. So you can actually design your own Xbox One controller, which is really cool. I haven't actually had the chance to do that yet, but something I'm definitely looking forward to possibly doing in the future. And then, of course, we have a quick start guide going over how to actually set up your console for the initial startup. But I'm probably not going to use any of this, so I'm just going to toss all that off to the side. Before we pull the console out, we're going to go ahead and see what else is in here. We got this box. Oh, wow. I think I opened it upside down. Alright, so in the box we got an HDMI cable, always good to have. Nice that I won't have to spend any money on an extra one and know that I'm going to get my full power capability with the HDMI cable that's actually included in the box. And looking in here, we actually have the remote itself. Now, because this is the Project Scorpio edition console, we're going to be seeing something, you know, a couple of minor differences as far as design goes compared to the regular one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of that now. So this is the controller itself. Oh, this is nice. I like this. This is pretty much a nice black. It's great. Even the buttons are black. I'm a big fan of that. We do get the Project Scorpio writing here down the center. Very similar to the Day 1 edition of the Xbox One that came out. I will kind of say that I kind of wish it was probably more, that if it was actually written horizontal, I would have preferred that instead of the vertical writing. But all in all, it's still great. As far as the grip and texture goes, I believe it's very similar, if not exactly the same as the Xbox One S, but I believe this one actually is a bit different. It does feel a bit, the texture feels a bit different, but all in all, I gotta say this is gorgeous, and I'm a very big fan of how this actually looks. Going further into the box here, we have some more paperwork that we don't care about, and here we have the power. Oh, I'm so glad that the power brick was gone once they actually did the 1S. That was just a big inconvenience that I just didn't care for one bit. So I'm glad that I finally just have this to just worry about. And of course, inside here we have batteries. The batteries. If there's one thing I find myself complaining about the controller itself is the fact that they do not have a built-in battery like the PlayStation, where you can just charge it in USB and not have to worry about it without having to buy an extra, accessory kit. However, I will say if you are in the market for batteries, the ones that I can actually recommend are the Panasonic Eneloops. You can find them at Costco as well as Amazon. I'll be sure to link those down in the description below. Those I can vouch for. I used to use the play and charge kit, but I feel like the battery just started wearing down over time, and I felt like it was just dying way too fast, even though I wasn't gaming as heavy. So now I actually stick to those Eneloop batteries. So all in all, that's what I would probably go with. Now for the console itself. Oh no, do we have something else in here? I think we do. Let's open this bad boy up. Okay, cool. So like the 1S that was actually released earlier last year, we had the vertical stand. So you get a vertical stand. Now this is only included with the Project Scorpio edition. If you get the regular Xbox One X, you actually don't get this included. They are going to be selling it separate. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be like $19.99. I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me. I'm just guessing because I think that's how much the other one retailed for the 1S. So it's pretty cool to see that this is included. I'm personally not going to use it. I have everything kind of laying flat on my media center, so I'm probably just going to go with the flat look. But that's what else you can get inside. And now for the console itself. And this is what I've been waiting for. Oh my god, this thing is heavy. Okay, wow. I wasn't expecting this to be as heavy as it actually is. Alright, this thing is wrapped up really good. Honestly, it's wrapped up better than my Christmas present wrapping, which isn't saying much. Okay, going in here. Oh, woo. Oh god, this thing is heavy. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be this heavy. For sure, it's a lot heavier than the 1S, and I think it's even heavier than the PS4 Pro. You know what? I think for sure it probably is heavier than both of them. I'm going to pull those out in a bit, and we're going to find out for ourselves. But man, this thing is heavy, but it's gorgeous. I like it. You know what? I had a feeling that it was going to be a bit more black than it actually is, but it actually ended up not being that way. But all in all, I think I'm pretty content with how it actually looks. It's pretty great, actually. We got the Project Scorpio text right here on the front. Other than that, there is no other indications of it being Project Scorpio. I'm trying to look around the sides over here and see if there's anything else. No, it's pretty cool that we have a Hello from Seattle Xbox One X here marking on the side of the console. That's pretty cool. But all in all, this looks very similar to what you would find on the 1S. And of course, we're going to be looking at the back here. And on the back here, the ports are actually going to be the exact same setup as the Xbox One S, which I think is a major plus here, because we got your AC, you got your AC power adapter, you have your HDMI out, your HDMI in, you got USB 3.0, two USB 3.0 ports, you have your IR out, you have your optical, and you have your Ethernet. And then of course, going back to the front, we actually have the USB 3.0 right here, as well as the control sync button. All in all, this thing is gorgeous. I like it. And you know, one of the things that I really like about this console compared to the 1S is that there's no fan up here. You know what? I hated that the fan was on the top of the 1S, because I actually wanted to skin it, but I wanted to do it all black. But because the fan was actually on the top, I couldn't actually do it. So I'm kind of glad to see that not only that they just kind of went with a darker look for the console, but that the fans are actually on the sides of the console. And then on the back, of course, we have the heat sink. So all in all, I got to say that is a major plus that I'm really liking. On the top, you still got the same Xbox logo here. This thing, man, this thing is incredible. I'm going to actually give you guys a more up-close look of this right now, just so you guys can see, and we're going to go ahead and talk about what's actually inside powering this beast of a machine. We have a console here that has 8 cores. That's a custom AMD CPU that actually clocks in at about 2.3 gigahertz. We have 12 gigabytes of DDR5 memory. We have a 6 teraflop GPU. And of course, the console itself actually has a 1 terabyte hard drive. All in all, this thing is supposed to be 40 times, or excuse me, 40% more powerful than any console on the market. And man, I hope that really lives up to expectations, because I'm really excited to see how this actually performs on my OLED TV. Man, I don't know. I'm just pumped. I'm ready. I'm ready to get this thing going. But before we actually do that, I'm going to go ahead now and actually bring out the Xbox One S and size it up for you guys, so you guys can actually see the differences between the two as far as, you know, the outside is concerned, because we both know that the One X is going to be the monster as far as the internals go. So here is the Xbox One S. I'm actually going to, you know what, the thing that surprises me about this, you would think that because all of the heavy specs that are in the One X, that this console is going to be the biggest one out of all of them now, but it actually isn't. It's actually smaller than the One S. When you actually stack them up, it is going to be a bit more, longer, but all in all, it's actually a smaller console, and I wasn't expecting that when I was, you know, first hearing the specs. I was like, oh, this thing is going to be way too big, and it's going to go back to like the size of the original Xbox One, and then I was like, man, what if we get another power brick? But nope, definitely not the case. The fact that they actually managed to fit so much more good internals, you know, at the down cost of it actually being more heavy, it's actually smaller than the One S. I feel like it's not significantly smaller just looking at it from here at this angle, but I'm pretty sure when I'm giving you guys some overhead looks, it'll probably be a bit more noticeable. But man, it's just crazy to me how smaller it actually is, because man, but this thing is really heavy. And then now, of course, looking at the PS4 Pro here, I'm gonna actually go ahead and bring this bad boy out. Oh yeah, for sure the One X is the heaviest console of the three. It's not even close. Honestly, this one's pretty kind of heavy, but the One X for sure, it just feels like but looking at how these stack up right here, you can see that the size difference, for sure the One X actually has the PS4 beat by the PS4 Pro beat by quite a bit. Man, this thing all around, as you look at it, as you can see, it's just much smaller. It's much smaller. I like the design of the One X. I think the design is my favorite one. I did like, you know, I kind of did like the white of the One S, but because my media center, everything is actually black, I prefer the black look, so I'm going to give the nod to the One X. But all in all, I gotta say I'm very pleased with how the packaging was and how my experience was for my my pre-order pickup. And all in all, I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. However, if you're gonna ask me whether I think you should actually pick up the One X or get a different console, honestly, I'm gonna say that it would be entirely up to you. I definitely would suggest, you know, depending on how your finances are and what you're actually thinking about doing, if you can actually save up for a One X, and if you have a 4K TV that supports HDR, then I say for sure it's a no-brainer to get the One X. But you have to be a fan of the Xbox catalog. You know, I have both consoles, and I will say that I do like the exclusives of the PS4 much better. And I'm a little disappointed at the launch lineup of the Xbox One X, but you know, all in all, they're all great consoles, and it really just comes down to what you're looking to spend. If you don't have a 4K TV, fear not. This is still optimized to help you get better performance on your 1080p TV. It does super sample. What that means is pretty much it takes the 4K image and it scales it down to your 1080p TV, so you can actually still get improved graphics as well as improved textures, and you'll still get the faster load times and the better frame rate. So fear not, even if you don't have a 4K TV quite yet, this is still a good console to get. It depends on if you really want to spend the money or not, because right now you can get a One S for about $200, and then of course the Pro is still sitting at right around the 400 range, excuse me. So all in all, these are all great consoles. Again, depending on what you're looking for, what meets your needs and what your budget is, it's hard to go wrong with either one. I'm personally gonna be more than likely either getting rid of my One S or putting it in another room. I will be keeping the PS4 Pro, and of course everything's going to be going on my One X. So all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want to see some gameplay, or if you guys have any questions about the One X, please be sure to leave me a comment down below. And if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe, as I will be dropping some more content soon, whether it be on new tech, or on more unboxings and more comparisons of all sorts of different stuff. But all in all, be sure to follow me also on my social medias down below at respect_tech951. And until then, this is Paul from Respect the Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next video.